everyone, the Flying Scotsman here. Welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the replacement for my ASUS Transformer T100HA 2-in-1 tablet. What do you mean, Jay? You're the replacement for your ASUS Transformer T100HA tablet? Well, while I've had the T100HA for 4 months shy of 2 years, and it has been a good 2-in-1, it did have some issues that really I was starting to find was really kind of affecting my ability to use the tablet, and that would not get better with time, actually would only get worse with time. Those issues are the amount of RAM and storage available on that tablet. That tablet was built on an Intel system on chip. It was an Intel Atom X5Z8500F, I do believe, 1.44 gigahertz quad core Atom with 2 gigs of RAM and a 32 gig eMMC SSD as storage. And to be honest, I mean, if this was an Android tablet, it, would be it'd be okay as an Android tablet. It'd be getting there, but it'd be getting a wee bit long in the tooth, but it would be okay as an Android tablet. But as a Windows 10 tablet, a Windows 10 64-bit tablet, it really wasn't the best. So, with that in mind, and the fact that the external memory card that I needed to be able to store enough of what I wanted on my tablet didn't actually sit flush in the tablet and actually stuck out a wee bit, causing me to lose one of my memory cards. With all that in mind, I decided that the time would be right to get an upgrade. But what would I upgrade to? Well, I mean, it did cross my mind to maybe look at something like, something similar, but with 64 gigs of eMMC storage and, 4 gigs of RAM, or even 128 gigs of storage. I considered a few things. The Acer Switch 2-in-1s. I did see some Iconia tabs, but to be honest, they're getting really quite old. I even had a look at the Microsoft Surface 3 and the Microsoft Surface Pro 3, and to be honest, I found that those were a wee bit pricey for what you got. Luckily, my friend Elmo3 had an idea. He said that I should try looking at the Dell Latitude 115175. So I went on eBay, had a look at them, had a look at some prices, and oh dear, I couldn't really afford that. So I kept with Dell, and I started having a look around at other tablets that might be available for sale, and I came upon this, the Venue Pro 117140. Now this little device is quite brilliant, actually. It has an Intel Core M, clocked at, clocked anywhere between 800 and 800 megahertz to a gigahertz, and can turbo boost up to 2 gigahertz if needed. It has 4 gigs of memory. Not sure, I think it's DDR3, although I really don't know much about the Broadwell chipset, because that's what this is. It's a Broadwell CPU, and it has a 128 gigabyte mSATA SSD. So regular SSD, like I've got in my ThinkPad. Actually, I recently upgraded both my T430 and my desktop PC to SSDs, and the performance on those are just absolutely brilliant now. But yeah, this has a 128 gig mSATA SSD, which can actually be upgraded by removing this back cover. So, about this tablet then. Let's have a look at the I/O on it. Well, as you can see, it's actually docked at the moment. So why don't we do something about that? Why don't we undock it? So, what do we have? Well, it has a 10.8 inch full high definition screen. Nice. It has a webcam up top. I'm not sure what the resolution is. It has another camera on the back with a resolution of 8 megapixels though. Kind of nice. Quite a lot for a camera on a tablet. But I guess that's the way the wind is blowing. I mean, the Transformer had a 5 megapixel camera mounted on it. Anyway, let's have a look at the I/O. So, on the left hand side we have a headphone jack. We have volume up and down buttons. A speaker. Micro USB charger. Micro HDMI. And a USB port. It's a USB 2 port, but it is a full-size USB port on a tablet. On the front, on the bottom, we have the docking connectors, the latches that kind of fasten this machine to the dock. Then we've got contacts for the dock, and then a connector for the older style docks, like you would have got for something like the 7130, I'm guessing. And then on the other side we have a hole here which actually can be used for prying the back off. And yes, you can actually remove the back of this machine. Like I said, you can upgrade the SSD, you can access the 4G modem. Got another speaker, and we've got SD and SIM card slots, and a power button. And then on the top it's just nothing, really. There's nothing on the top of this. So, that's the tablet then. So, let's have a look at the keyboard. What does the keyboard have to offer? Apart from it's got a lovely, lovely design. It's kind of gunmetal slash kind of flannel grey metal with chrome accents. Keys are very nice to type on, actually. It's for a 10-inch machine, this keyboard is really quite nice. So the keyboard actually has no I/O on it. Well, apart from the connection to the tablet and something else which I will show you in a minute, it has no kind of I/O on it as far as extending the I/O of the tablet. So it's literally, there's nothing around the edge apart from the chrome accent. It uses a catch, actually. It uses a button operated catch to lock the tablet in place if it's connected. And if we actually have a look on the back, we see the two catches that keep the tablet in place. We've got the gold contact connectors on the actual dock, and then we have a micro USB port. Why would you need a micro USB port on a keyboard? Well, this keyboard is hiding a nice little secret. This has got a battery in it. So when you dock the tablet, you actually have access to a secondary battery. And the with the micro USB port, you can actually charge the battery independently. And speaking of the charger, I'd like to show you this. This is really quite good. Now, in its fully assembled form, it might look like your average wall wart. And indeed, it is. It's got a USB cable, USB port in there. However, if we take the head off, we take the actual plug itself off, we find that it's actually just a cloverleaf connector. So technically speaking, I could just kind of use this as a regular power brick. You know, just kind of plug a regular cloverleaf power lead in here, and then I've got an extended power cord. Isn't that brilliant? So this, I mean, that is something that I really quite like, and it just kind of shows that Dell have actually, you know, thought about the way, the design of this tablet. At least in my opinion, anyway. Because some of the cables that, well, obviously the cables that come with this tablet, well, most tablets are very short. So, with that all said then, I think it's only fair that we actually powered the tablet on. However, in order to do such a thing, we are actually going to have to completely reinstall Windows. And I'll tell you for why. I got this tablet on eBay, and it had a couple of quirks. Now, the eBay listing offers a six months return to base warranty on this tablet, which I'm sure is very nice. However, this tablet still had a couple of weeks of Dell's own warranty left on it. So I've had Dell take a look at it. When I first got the tablet, it had some usual Dell gremlins. The Wi-Fi not connecting properly, or dropping the connection, and sometimes being unable to pull the tablet out of standby without hard resetting it. So I got a replacement board, that was fine, except it would randomly restart, and the docking connector itself, if I docked the tablet while it was switched on, it would sometimes just kind of switch itself off again. So, Dell actually decided to just replace a few things. So I got a new docking connector, a new motherboard, and actually a new SSD. The first time I called them out, that's something that they wanted to install in the tablet. Never did, but it has been done this time. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to install Windows 10 Professional 64-bit on this tablet, and anything else that needs installed. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. So I am going to dock the tablet for this install. So, I will need my trusty keyring of life. And what I will do now is I'll put the USB key in to the tablet. Hopefully we've got it right this time. Hopefully I'm not going to have any more problems. So you press and hold the power button to start this tablet as you would with any other tablet. And before I do anything, I'm just going to go into setup, just to check a few things. This is running BIOS A12. There is a newer BIOS that I will be actually using. It's got 4 gigs of RAM running at 1600 megahertz DDR3 LSD RAM, 2 times 2048. Note, due to an amount of memory being assigned for system use, the memory available, yada yada yada. I can barely see that. So you can see both batteries in here, and if I undock it, you see that one of the batteries disappears. Nice. So let's try and redock. Yeah. Yep. There we go. So that, so far, seems to be working. I'm just gonna... Yep. Good. Glad that works. Now, yeah, we'll put the we've got the the boot set to UEFI. Advanced boot options, enable option legacy ROMs, enable UEFI network stuck is disabled. Date and time has been set by the guy who is out here. USB power share, configures USB power share, feature behavior to allow users to charge external devices through the USB port while the tablet's off. Enable audio, that's good. That's enabled, that's what I want. Enable media card or disable media card. So yeah, secure boot enabled. So that's good. Performance, post behavior, yada yada. Wireless. So I should have W1 adapter, Bluetooth and WLAN. Nice. Aye. So, anyway, I've had enough of straining my eyes in this BIOS, so, well, let's get to it. So I've pressed escape and see what it does now. I think what it's going to do is boot straight from the USB drive. Or maybe not. Oh, there it goes. Windows 10 setup. I want 64-bit. I have 4 gigs of RAM in this system. I intend to use it all. So there we go. Actually starting up, and there we go. We're in Windows 10 setup. The mouse seems to work. That's good. So before we can set up Windows 10, we need to prepare the hard disk for UEFI boot. So to do that, I want to press Shift and F10 to bring up a command prompt window. Or FN, Shift and F10, because the keys have other uses, and the function keys are set to the secondary option. So what I need to do, type disk part. What I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to actually increase the font size, because, you know, so I might actually be on with a shout of being able to see the damn thing. There we go. There we go. Now, I want to see what disks are in here, so I'll type list disk. There we go. We have a 118 gig mSATA SSD as drive disk 0, although it won't tell you what type of disk it is, just that it's there and that it has a capacity of 118 gigs. Now we've got disk 1, 14 gigs. That's my Windows 10 USB key. We're not going to be touching that. Now I want to work with disk 0, so I'll select disk 0. Excellent. Now what I'm going to do is just type clean, just to make sure we're starting with a completely blanked volume. Now, in order for us to be able to use this as a UEFI boot volume, I need to convert it to the GPT partition table. Well, no, the GPT, partition table, as opposed to master boot record. So to do that, I type convert GPT. Disk part successfully converted the selected disk to GPT format. Excellent. So now I can just exit out of that and then exit the command prompt. Language is set to United Kingdom on this install. So what I'm going to do, just install now. Setup is starting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, I don't have a product key. I don't know if it lasts for one. This is a new motherboard. If it does, the person from Dell has actually given me a Windows 10 license key should I need it. So it's all kinds of versions of Windows to install on here. We've got Windows 10 S, Windows 10 SN, Windows 10 Home, Windows 10 Home N, Windows 10 Home Single Language, Windows 10 Education, Windows 10 Education N, Windows 10 Pro, and Windows 10 Pro N. So I just want a regular Windows 10 Pro. Windows 10 S is a version of Windows 10 where you can only run, install and run apps from the App Store. I don't like it. Anyway, so now we've got the licensing agreement. Let's accept that. Totally read that. Click next. Now, because this is a blank drive, I want a custom install. 119.2 gigabytes. We're not going to bother creating any partitions or anything. Just click next and let Windows do it for us. Excellent. Right, Windows 10 is now fully installed. I'll just leave that USB drive in there just for a moment, because just to be sure that there's nothing else needing done. There we go. So this will just kind of flash on and off a few times. Talk about how ready it's getting the devices. Jings, that goes very quickly on here. Hi. Oh, hi there. We're getting everything ready for you. Gotta do that in a Bruce from Family Guy voice. This might take several minutes. Get your desktop ready. Maybe some games. Maybe get a few items on the start menu. Maybe a little desktop background. Oh, and the adventure begins again. But yeah, this might take several minutes. So I think I will leave it to do its own thing. And then when I get back, well, actually, I think it's safe to unplug this USB drive now. Not going to need it. What I will do though is, because I'm going to be setting this all up, and it's going to take some time, I think I will there we go. Now, I'm going to have to operate without the magnifier, at least for a small while. What I think I will do is I will install Dell Command Update and the setup app and what have you. If I do that, then yeah, I should be able to then. I should then be able to connect to the internet and have the Dell app actually work. Okay, so the audio driver is now installing itself. Well, I say it's installing itself. Yeah, this could take... Oh yeah, no, it is. There we go. That's champion, that is. So we're just going to reboot. A couple of things I do want to do. I hide that. I think what I will also do is I will up the scaling because I will need to. And I think I'm going to go with 200% scaling. Again, it's a custom option. Obviously, I'm always going to use the custom options in Windows because, yeah. There we go. Actually, I'm with a better shout of being able to see the damn thing now. Even if I do have to run things in full screen. I'm not sure this is actually going to work just yet though. Because, oh no, it is, good, got a mouse pointer. Not sure how activated this copy of Windows 10 is. But, you know, we will get there, we will get there. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'll actually install some of the chipset drivers and what have you. Get those sorted. No. I install those after the chipset driver. You know what? Forget that. Let's actually install Dell Command Update and let it deal with it. Probably not to everyone's liking, but yeah, this is the way I've chosen to do it. Usually find that it works pretty well. And at that point I will obviously have to connect this to the interweb, because otherwise how is it going to get updates if it's not connected to the net? Copy new files, excellent, good. Right, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'll just connect to the interweb. Cool, I'm connected. So next thing to do, run Dell command update. Yeah, I do want to update. So this is what we're going to do. We are actually going to check for updates. Now, if this has had a replacement board and what have you, how does it know that it's still my service tag? It's amazing. I think Dell must have I'm not sure what's in here that would actually keep my service tag on it, because it's had the SSD replaced as well. Ah well, Dell must have actually kind of bound that into the ROM before sending the board out. Quite good that that was the thing that was done. I think it was about tea time last night I got the confirmation that the person was coming out today, and in that time they've sent out a dispatch, so the stuff's obviously been overnighted from Dell somewhere, and then it was here this morning for the guy to come and fit it around about 11. Nice. Anyway, this is going to take some time, so I will pause it right here. Oh, there's stuffs happening, there's things, there's all kinds of stuffs and things. What are these stuffs and things? Warning. The power adapter and any peripheral devices such as the Dell Type-C docks must not be disconnected from the system while installing BIOS and or firmware updates. Disconnecting such devices during installation may lead to system instability or unusable peripheral devices. Alright, so it has found the BIOS. So what we're going to do is we're going to install all of this stuff. And it's going to obviously download updates, and this will take some time. I think it's actually important that we do upgrade to the latest BIOS. It was actually issued on the 9th of January this year. So, I mean, this is a 3-year-old device and it's still getting BIOS updates. I think that's pretty impressive. Anyway, I will let this work. So, all the updates have been installed now. Excuse me, we just need to restart. And I wonder if that's when it will install the BIOS update. Yep, this is exactly when it's installing the BIOS update. Updating your system's firmware. Do not power down your system. Ooh. I always get a wee bit worried when doing BIOS updates. I worked on an eMachine last year, an eMachine's laptop, and did a BIOS update, and it crashed. Probably because it was using the WinFlash utility in Windows Vista on a system that was bogged down. That's just not right. You don't do that. So I'm glad that BIOS update, successful reboot in your system. So I'm glad that Dell actually shuts down the system before applying the BIOS update. Okay, let's go into setup now, and I want to see. Oh, it's A13. That's a bit strange. I would have thought A14 would have been downloaded. Oh well. Let's see what we can do. Might need to run command update again, just to, for the second, for another round of updates. Stranger things have happened. Ah, right, okay. So apparently stuff has happened. There we go. So let's run Dell command update once again. Last check for updates 13:11 today. Last update 13:30 today. So it took all of 20 minutes actually to install those updates. Would be quite nice, I think, if there was an Ethernet port on this docking station. You know, something like that. Oops, scanning system devices. Okay, recommended updates, 2 of 2. I wonder what these are. Customize. Dell LTE mobile broadband driver and GPS Intel management component engine components installer. Well, I know that it will keep bugging me to install the mobile broadband adapter, and it never will install fully because, yeah, it seems to do that. But the Intel management engine components, definitely something that I should be installing. So I'm just going to let it download and install these updates. Windows is activated. All the updates have been installed as far as I can. And yeah. So let's let's continue. Next on the agenda, Windows updates. Kind of important, this one. So before we do anything, I want advanced options. Give me updates for the Microsoft products. Also delivery optimization. Let's not do any of the peer-to-peer stuff. Not because I disagree with the peer-to-peer, but you don't really need it tying up the network. I mean, I take this machine You know, I mean, it's as a tablet, I'll take it to all sorts of places, and I really don't need peer-to-peer gumming up everything. So this will take a bit to check for updates. Hopefully it will find the 2018-01 cumulative update. That's kind of important, although I did hear that pulled it, actually, because it was actually bricking the Windows install on some AMD machines. This was the update which contained the patch to defend against the meltdown processor bug, but it bricked systems that had AMD processors in, and as they are not actually susceptible to the meltdown bug at the very least, yeah, doesn't really make sense to have that on there. However, no, it does seem at least to have a security up. Well, no, that's for Flash update for Windows 10 2017-12 cumulative update. So it looks like they have pulled it. However, I do have the update installed on my other systems. So unless it's you know, the security update contains the fix for systems that need it. Now, again, I should probably explain a couple of things about Meltdown and Spectre. There's been obviously quite a lot of hearsay, but as I see it, Meltdown affects Intel processors built within the last 20 years. It does not affect AMD or ARM CPUs or anything like that. Spectre, on the other hand, does affect pretty much all Intel, AMD and ARM CPUs, so that is kind of more widespread. However, as far as I'm aware, you know, if anyone, you know, can actually fact check this and correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I'm aware, the Spectre exploit can only be worked around if you're actually physically sat in front of the machine, whereas Meltdown, it can be activated remotely. So while Spectre does actually affect a much wider array of CPUs, the exploit is actually more difficult to actually exploit. Anyway, these look to be downloading, or at least initializing or anything, I don't know. They're all at 0% apart from the 2017-12 cumulative update, which is at initializing. So I'm just going to go and let this do what it's got to do. Well, this is something quite interesting. Instead of just installing the 2018-01 cumulative update straight away, what Windows chose to do was to install the December 2017 one, and then once that had been installed, I went and checked for updates again, and it's now saying that 2018-01's cumulative update is available to update to. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Good, touchscreen works. Not actually tested that yet. Nice. For some reason the charms thing works. Really kind of glad about that, actually. So hopefully that'll download and install, and then, you know, I'll run Dell command update, just for the hell of it, once again. Then yeah, then I can start installing actual programs on here. So after a few days, I've managed to get everything installed and running on this tablet, and I've also been able to give it a proper test. Well, as much of a proper test as I can do. So I've been using it around the house. Obviously, I have my Amazon Fire for using, like, you know, I'll put that on the windowsill in the bathroom when I take a shower or something, you know, so I can watch something. The reason I do that is because, you know, with my anxiety and that, it's good to keep my mind occupied, you know, so I'll play an episode of Family Guy or something that I'm, you know, might watch while grabbing a shower. But with this tablet, there's none of that shenanigans, because, yeah, quite a bit more expensive. But at the same time, I have still managed to get quite a bit of use out of it. Certainly, you know, if I'm going to my bed, might watch a video on it or something, or if I wake up, might you know, I might power it on and, you know, look at Facebook or read the news from the National or something like that. I've also taken it with me out to places. So I did have a couple of well, I did have at least one actually hospital doctor's appointment that I I had to go to, so I took the tablet with me to, you know, just occupy me in the waiting room. Took it into town yesterday on the bus. Used the bus's free Wi-Fi to do that. I've taken it with me to my office, and this tablet has come through all of those challenges and then some. I think, hopefully, touch wood, seems to be behaving a lot better than it has been. So we've got the Wi-Fi. That's a thing that's pretty much sorted itself out. At Action on Disability especially, it would keep disconnecting from the Wi-Fi. I did play a few YouTube videos through it, and it seems to have been absolutely fine there. I've not had any problems with it restarting while I've had it on standby. I've been able to wake it up out of standby, and I've been able to dock it to the keyboard. Did have a couple of things that did happen that did scare me a bit, but hopefully they're just kind of wee quirks that just happen. First off, I put it on charge, I think it was Thursday morning, while I was watching a video, and it kept saying, the battery's running low, you need to plug it in. The battery's running low, you need to plug it in. But it was saying that it was plugged in. Eventually it switched off, because, you know, it was, despite the fact that it was plugged in, it was acting like it was running on battery. And it was saying, I tried powering it on again, and I got a wee notice saying you're using an unrecognised 3-watt adapter. You need a genuine Dell 35-watt adapter, or whatever it was. So I thought, I don't like this. So I unplugged the adapter from the wall. Normally the power light on the adapter stays on for a wee bit afterwards, but for some reason it just turned completely off. I thought, okay, well, something must have not been right with the adapter. Plugged it back in, both the power adapter and the USB cable, and powered it back on, and everything was fine. It charged. It took a charge, and it's been fine. The other wee problem was when I was on the bus, I took this tablet off standby. Actually, I have a folio cover, you know, which is a bit like the ones that you get with the iPad. The magnetic ones that you can fold. That's what it stood on now, actually. I took that off of the, well, I folded it away from the screen, which powered it up, but the log on screen wasn't showing or anything, but if I press the volume buttons, I did get the volume bar, like that, and a quick hard power off and power back on again, it was absolutely fine. Probably just Windows crashing, and, you know, apart from that, everything's been absolutely brilliant. So I've been using this tablet for, you know, an array of tasks, watching YouTube videos, playing games, and I do have the full Office 2016 installed on here, but first of all, we'll just kind of have a wee game of Bejeweled. I'll kind of show you. Okay. Maybe not. Bejeweled doesn't want to play. Sorry about the banging. My neighbours are up the stairs are getting a carpet fitted. Oh, there we go. Signed in on Xbox. Oh yeah, sorry. No! I usually look at this tablet quite a bit closer. Don't you just love when that happens? So, you know the drill with Bejeweled. Basically try and match 3 or more of the same colour / shape in a row. And, you know, the more that you can slap together in a row, the better song and dance it'll make about it, you know, and you get a higher score and what have you. Yada yada, blah blah blah. I think that's a brilliant point on which to end that game. Like I said, I have the full version of Microsoft Office. And on a tablet interface, it will actually expand the buttons and what have you. You know, make it more touch-friendly. Something I really quite like. Dunk. And, yeah, just a mix of games and various productivity applications. Just to, you know, the sort of stuff that I would normally do on a tablet. It's obviously set up to print to my printer and what have you. You know, I've got nice productivity apps, see? And mostly it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, sometimes Windows will slow down a bit, like you just saw then, but yeah, mostly it's absolutely fine. One thing I am quite amazed at is the good quality of the speakers and of the stereo separation. Now, while I might not be able to show you the stereo separation that well on here, I certainly can show you how good the speakers are. So I've queued up some of my musics that I use in my videos, and we'll play some of those now. obviously because all of my music is digital, it's certainly not going to be the most ideal stereo speaker excursion test in the world. And the MTS woofer excursion test, this is not. Actually, that's good news. Well, thinking about it, don't want to be breaking people's subwoofers and getting copyright strikes for it either. So yeah, I mean, that song pretty much had the same dynamics and timbre as the other one, so don't need to play that one. But yeah, this is my Dell Venue Pro 117140. Absolutely brilliant. Would I recommend it? Well, I would say if you can get one of these in good condition, then yeah, certainly I could recommend it. If you wanted something newer, the Latitude 115175, very, very similar, but it actually comes with a stylus and what have you. You can get a stylus for this. I've not done so as of yet with this one. Whether I'll do so, I'm not sure, because I do have the Fujitsu Lifebook T580 for doodling on. But I might do in the future. I really like the feel of this tablet. It does feel like a premium product. There's not anywhere near the keyboard flexing that the ASUS Transformer T100HA had. And it's just a lot. It's just a much more pleasant experience. Things that I probably would change about it. The 16:9 aspect ratio is perfect for watching films, but to be honest, I find it a wee bit unwieldy in a tablet. I think I'd prefer 16:10 or better yet 3:2, which is what a lot of the newer tablets tend to use, like the Microsoft Surface Pro and what have you, the iPad Pro. But no, I do very much like this tablet, and I like the fact that it uses a regular SATA SSD, which is fast storage. It has 4 gigs of RAM, which while on the minimum side of things, it is actually very much workable. Unlike the 2 gigs you got on the ASUS Transformer. I like the memory card slot, the fact that it actually is recessed and has a wee flap. I like how this particular one has a 4G modem in it, which is brilliant if I choose to put a SIM card. The screen, very nice and bright, brilliant colours. Although the colour adjustment, it can take a wee while sometimes to readjust itself, and because of that, sometimes things tend to look a bit strange on the screen. But again, it's these are all very, 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 very small flies in a jar of otherwise very pleasant ointment, to quote Jeremy Clarkson. And so yeah, I do quite like this. So, with that said, I think I will end this video here. Thank you all for watching.